Hello and welcome to the News9 Plus show on the world's first news and current affairs OTT platform, News9 Plus. Prime Minister Modi is in Tamil Nadu today. He is holding rallies and road shows in the state. This is his 7th visit to Tamil Nadu since elections were called. And Tamil Nadu goes to the elections on 19th of April for all 39 Lok Sabha seats. With Modi setting a target of winning 370 seats for the BJP, the party is working overtime to make impressive gains in the south. And that southern state, that crucial focus of the BJP's attention is Tamil Nadu with 39 seats. But can the BJP break into Tamil Nadu? Joining me to discuss Modi's southern dash are Venkat, Narayan, Lakshman, and my colleague Brijesh Pandey. Gentlemen, welcome to the News9 Plus show. I want to start by putting out what we believe is the BJP's 5-pronged strategy for Tamil Nadu. The party has put the Ram Mandir and Hindutva on the back burner when it comes to states south of the Vindhyas, especially Tamil Nadu. The 5 pillars of this strategy are local leadership, local allies, caste math, of course Prime Minister Modi's visits, 7 visits since the polls were called this year, and finally touching upon local issues like Kachativa Island. I want to start by asking Brijesh. Brijesh, 39 seats in Tamil Nadu, a gold mine of opportunity for the BJP. How successful do you think the party will be in the south?
Well, it's a very difficult question to answer how successful they are going to be. But what I can say for sure is that, it's a well thought out strategy. It's not like they just woke up to Tamil Nadu, say 6 months back. Because remember earlier, when they were toying with AIA, DMK, the two factions, and then Annamalai was made the president, they didn't go down well. Because, we have done shows, in which AIA, DMK clearly said that, what BJP is forgetting, that there can be only one lion in this, in the jungle, and that is us, and not Annamalai. He's just a street kid. A lot has changed since then. Because, there was a meeting of AIA, DMK faction leaders in Delhi, where Annamalai was also accorded the prime of the place where he was made to sit right opposite that along with Amit Shah. It was very clear that they were banking on this. So they walked the talk when they accepted Annamalai's this thing that we should not go with AIA, DMK. They have a corrupt lineage. We should go, we should hit the ground. So that, politically they are doing everything which a political party can do, raking up the issue of corruption of DMK. Adopting a very aggressive approach, in form of Annamalai and the way he has hit the ground, doing padyatras after padyatras. And the third and the most crucial thing which is important for any kind of, these rallies or campaigns to be successful, complete backup, 100% backup by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah. Prime Minister has visited Tamil Nadu 7 times. Today he will be arriving at the 8th time for a 2-day visit, and this will go on. So this shows the kind of push they are putting in as far as the Tamil Nadu state is concerned. BJP is hopeful that their numbers will increase. They will get, they'll be able to make a dent, and their vote share is also going to increase phenomenally. This is what the BJP
Absolutely,
believes.
and it's a very concerted game plan there at play. Narayan, Lakshman, why has the BJP not been able to make any headway in Tamil Nadu over the last couple of years, and why do you think that this time it could be different?
Well, look, this is a state that has always been resistant to the brand of politics that the BJP practices, which is Hindutva. Not just in its most recent form, where you have controversial issues such as the Ram Mandir, UCC, CAA, NRC, any of those things. But even from the much earlier days of the Dravidian politics in the 1960s, there was a sense of these North Indian parties, whether BJP or Congress at the time more relevantly, being behind Hindi imposition, North Indian rule, upper caste rule. So this is a state that views these parties, and particularly the BJP in this election, with some sense of, if not suspicion, it's seen as an unknown quantity. So they have found it hard to convince people in this backdrop of the Dravidian movement that they are a natural party to rule this state. And further, obviously, the Dravidian parties themselves, earlier both the ADMK and DMK, and in recent times more tipping towards the DMK alone, they have really been able to tap the sort of grassroots support, both in terms of fundraising as well as mobilization of votes during election time. And that has made this state fundamentally impregnable to these large national parties from based in North India. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. There are large parties, Brijesh, that have not made an impact in Tamil Nadu for over half a century. I don't think there's any state in India where a national party has not broken in like it is
Absolutely.
in Tamil Nadu. Mr. Venkat Narayan, this, what would the BJP be borrowing from Mr. Kamaraj's strategy if they want to make gains in Tamil Nadu, you think? Given the fact that this is probably the first time in many years that you're seeing an election bereft of tall Dravidian leaders like Jayalalitha and Karunanidhi.
That's absolutely true. I think since 1967, when Kamaraj-led Congress party was defeated by Annamalai-led DMK, this is the first time in 57 years that
Right.
a national party making a very serious effort
Right.
to break into the Tamil Nadu politics
Yes.
and try and get some seats. You have 39 seats in Tamil Nadu, and the BJP is hoping to win 370 seats on its own, and they
Right.
want to win more than 400 seats, including the allies.
Yes.
The AID-MK, after Jayalalitha's death, has
Right.
not had a leader
Yeah.
who has been able to win the confidence of the Tamil people.
Yes.
Whereas Stalin was able to prove that he was a worthy successor to his father Karunanidhi.
Yes.
And so even though it is going to be a triangular kind of contest across the state,
Yeah.
it seems to me that the primary fight will be between the Congress, so DMK Congress alliance,
Yes.
as well as and the BJP-led alliance of small parties.
Right.
So it will be very interesting to see.
Right.
Annamalai is claiming that this is a national party is now getting into the act in
Yes.
Tamil Nadu in a big way.
Right.
And he is expecting people
Yes.
to vote for the BJP in a big way.
Right.
And, if they are able to, win more than 20% of the popular vote,
Yes.
it might convert itself into maybe half a dozen or a dozen seats.
Right.
We'll have to see. But I would like to say that this is the most serious attempt in 57 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
That a national party is making a very serious attempt
Right.
to break into the Dravidian parties-led Tamil Nadu.
Right, absolutely. The most serious attempt in 57 years, as Mr. Narayan mentioned, the fact that what is going to happen, Brijesh, to the AIADMK? The BJP cannot grow at any other party's expense. Looks like the AIADMK is the one that's going to be the fall guy in this whole equation.
Could be, but what I have gathered from my sources in the Tamil Nadu BJP as well as the central BJP, they said that Annamalai told Prime Minister as well as
Yes.
Home Minister Amit Shah that there is no way we can go for a solid organic growth which is in consonance with our own ideologies,
Right.
where we say that we are corrupt free,
Hence
we don't
they-
indulge in these kind of activities, and
Right.
we really want to have a BJP thing. We have to go solo.
Right.
And going by the way the entire campaign has been planned, going by the kind of backing Annamalai has till now, it seems that the top leadership is sold lock, stock and barrel.
Right.
And one thing we have to give to BJP, whether they succeed or not,
Yeah.
whenever they are trying to enter into a new territory,
Right.
they give it their 100%.
Like
And
West Bengal.
Like West Bengal.
Yes.
And West Bengal, 14 people ridiculed them. 19, they come up with a performance which could be
Right.
like, the best
Right.
performance ever. Like winning
Right.
18 seats out of 40 seats
Yes.
in the 42 seats
Right.
in the state. So Kerala also, we saw, it backed out a bit, fizzled
Yes,
out a bit.
yes.
But when they tried, they were trying their level best. And this
Right.
is exactly what they're doing in the state of Tamil
They
Nadu.
seem
Many
to be giving
believe that we may
100%.
not be able to win seats, but if the popular vote percentage increases or comes
Yes.
to a level
Yes.
which makes us a bit of a serious, then we will continue this onslaught for the next 5 years until the next assembly election is
That's
concerned.
2026.
So they really want to
Right.
the BJP to be counted as a regional party as well as a national party
Right.
with a decent stake in the politics of Tamil Nadu.
Right, absolutely. And it's not just 2024 that the BJP seems to be fighting for.
Yeah.
They're laying the foundation for 2026 as well, the state assembly elections. Narayan, this emergence of Annamalai, it's a fascinating case of a leader literally, it's like a film script that's been written out there. You found the perfect, candidate for that, and we even called our documentary, we call him the BJP's Tamil Singham, because it almost seems so unreal that you'd have an IPS officer, turned politician who enters. It's literally a Bollywood film scenario. But Narayan, Lakshman, how does Annamalai fit in all of this? Can he? I mean, he has big shoes to fill, admittedly in Tamil Nadu, where larger than life politicians are the norm. I mean, how do you see Annamalai playing out over the next couple of years? His career as a politician of note in Tamil Nadu.
Sorry, I must take a different note from what your other speakers have said here. Firstly, I don't even believe this is a competition primarily between the DMK and the BJP. The BJP is still a minor player here in this case. Possibly only going to increase its vote share, may not even win a single seat. Right. So the primary contest, however, remains very much between the DMK and ADMK. Let's not kid ourselves about that.
Right.
Secondly, as to Annamalai, there's been a lot of hype. I certainly think he's made a sincere attempt. I don't think he's been lacking in effort. He pulled out the DMK files. He really tried to make corruption front and center, as you alluded to earlier. But he is not divorced from the context of his own party. He is very much part of a party which, for the first time in history, is trying to make an entry into a state which is formidably difficult for the brand of politics it's got. So I think, it may be that they are playing the long game. Right. And while they may continue to, chip away at this election, it would be maybe 1 or 2 elections from now that they actually have the breakthrough that they're seeking.
Right. So another 1 or 2 elections there, and it's obviously, they're in for the long haul, Brijesh, as you pointed out. The BJP doesn't work in 1 election cycle, it works on 2 and 3 election cycles. But Mr. Venkat Narayan, this point that Narayan Lakshman made, that the fact that it is primarily a battle between the AIDMK and the DMK, and the BJP would actually only increase its vote share, and obviously they're looking at maybe 2026 and 2029. So they're in for the long haul, you think?
Well, they're actually looking at 2047, you see.
Well,
you see, they're for the long haul. And Annamalai, this is a calculated risk that BJP is taking in Tamil Nadu. Because it was Annamalai who had stoutly opposed the BJP aligning with the AIADMK, and this upset the AIADMK very deeply.
Right.
And in any case, after Jayalalitha's death, that AIADMK has split into 2 or 3 or 4 different parties, and we have to see which one is the real AIADMK worthy successor to MGR and Jayalalitha. We don't know. But if this calculated gamble the BJP is taking at Annamalai's instance, if it works, that would be remarkable. Even if they manage to get a few seats in the Lok Sabha, but if they increase their percentage of votes, in the next assembly election, they might become a force to reckon with. Because I do not see any strong leaders in the AIADMK at this point of time. Right. Whereas Stalin had no difficulty in walking into, getting into his father's shoes, and he's been doing a reasonably good job. Yes. But he is, aligned strongly with the Congress, and he declared, he's the first, I think, regional leader to say that he would like to see Rahul Gandhi as the Prime Minister of India. Well, all the best, good luck to him, but we'll have to see how this will play out, on the 19th of April, when the entire state goes to the polls. Right. And Brijesh, very interesting set of allies that the BJP has, chosen for itself in Tamil Nadu. You have the PMK, the old friends of the NDA, estranged allies, and then of course the faction of the AIDMK, the Dinakaran faction, and the Tamil Manila Congress. It just comes out of nowhere. What is the BJP's game plan in going for all these smaller parties and staying away from the AIDMK?
BJP feels that with these partners, they can go for a strategic tie-up with these parties, and they can gain in areas where these parties are strong.
These are essentially
caste-based parties. So what they just want to get their caste calculation correct. Right. I think most of the time what BJP also does is that if they can win 2 seats like a true bull political political party, they'll say we'll win 20 seats. So it gives like, the 370 that we will win 370 seats and all. But nobody knows where you are going to win 370 seats from. It's just to give a boost to their cadres, boost to their leaders.
Targets, you set a target.
Yes, you set a target. You know that if you repeat 2019 or better 2019, there in itself will be a fantastic performance. So I think this is exactly the kind of mind game they are trying to play in the state of Tamil Nadu. Many believes in private that, the only thing which they are actually realistically hopeful is that, that there can be an increase in terms of, percentage of votes they poll, vote share. But seats and all this winning 10 seats or 12 seats or 15 seats is a usual political leadership thing that you have to push our cadres more for that. So it's like that.
So it's a numbers game at the end of the day, but the BJP, as Venkat Narayan mentioned, is the first national party to make a serious play for Tamil Nadu in more than half a century, more than 57 years to be precise. But that's the story that we are watching very carefully today. Modi's Dravidian dash, as Prime Minister Modi makes yet another visit into Tamil Nadu, this 8th visit in fact since elections were called. Thank you very much Venkat Narayan and Narayan Lakshman for joining me, and of course Brijesh. We'll be tracking that story very closely as Prime Minister Modi makes another concerted attempt to convince the voters that the BJP is the party of choice for Tamil Nadu. The BJP's man on the ground is State Party Chief K. Annamalai. Now, the buzz is that the former IPS officer was handpicked for the task by Prime Minister Modi himself. Watch the News9 Plus story on the BJP's Tamil Singam.
Tamil Nadu, the citadel of Dravidian politics for nearly 6 decades. It is home to over 6 crore Tamil speakers. It has not been ruled by a national party in over 5 decades. The state has aggressively kept national parties at bay. The stronghold of charismatic regional leaders like the DMK's C.N. Annadurai or Anna, M.G. Ramachandran, M. Karunanidhi and J. Jayalalita. But the BJP has now identified Tamil Nadu as its final frontier. And Kuppuswamy Annamalai is the man for the job.
The 2024 election, it is going to determine 2 things. One, 3 years of DMK rule, people are going to measure by their words. 10 years of our rule, they are going to measure.
He has emerged as a leader. His acceptance will come during the Lok Sabha elections. If he wins a few seats in the Lok Sabha, I think Annamalai, the leader, would have arrived.
Today, for the youth of Tamil Nadu, they're able to relate themselves. They're able to identify themselves. They're able to connect very well with the current leader of BJP, Sri Annamalai.
மீனவ சமுதாய இளைஞர்களுக்கு அண்ணாமலை அவர்கள் ஒரு மிகுந்த உற்சாகத்தையும் முன்மாதிரியாகவும் அவர் செயல்பட்டு கொண்டிருக்கிறாரு.
South India is in a grip of a record heat wave. Water bodies are drying up, reservoirs are being depleted, forests are on fire, and elephants are dying. Many districts are in the grip of an unprecedented heat wave with record daytime temperatures and unusually warm nights. Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, they're all recording unprecedented temperatures that are 4 to 8 degrees higher than normal, and there's no let-up of the heat. So what effect will all of this have on the health of the people, especially vulnerable groups like children and the elderly? What effects will this have on the rain pattern in the region? And what effects will this have on the crop cultivation in this region? Joining me to discuss this are Mr. Chandra Bhushan and my colleague Nivriti Mohan. Mr. Bhushan, welcome to the News9 Plus show.
Thank you.
You know, one assumed that the southern states, the 6 states, all but one are on the coast, and the sea acts as a kind of a temperature regulator. But what's happened this year? Why has that regulator failed? Why are we looking at such record temperatures in the south?
I'm not surprised with the kind of temperature you are seeing in peninsular India, southern part of India. Precisely because this is not something which has happened for the first time.
Right.
There has been an increasing trend in temperature in fact from January onwards in coastal India. Mumbai this year had 36 degree temperature in January.
Right.
So, and this is, as I said, is not a new thing. We are seeing increasing temperature after Jan. We had actually in some part of the country heat wave in February last year.
Right.
Delhi was saved this year, but last year we had heat wave in Delhi in Feb.
Yes.
So the long-term trend is quite clear that we will see more heat wave, much rapid ramping up of temperature after January. The other problem with southern India is that is pre-monsoon moisture, humidity.
Right.
Now, if you add temperature and humidity together, it is much more lethal. So dry heat is fine. Dry heat, you can survive dry heat till 40 degree. But wet heat, which is called as wet bulb temperature, it will be difficult to survive wet bulb temperature of even 35 degrees.
Right.
Outdoor work becomes impossible after 30 degree of wet bulb temperature.
Right.
So the second problem that I see about in coastal part of India is how wet bulb temperature is going to look like. We only monitor dry bulb temperature, therefore, we don't have data on wet bulb, but my sense is that also the wet bulb temperature are very high right now.
Right, absolutely. Very alarming scenario there, Nivriti. Wet bulb temperatures is something that, the elephant in the room we rarely talk about, but the fact is it's a reality. But, climate change is a reality, Nivriti. We've been talking about it ad nauseum for the last couple of months. Tell us how the IMD has predicted more heat wave conditions this year. And it's only, increasing, as Mr. Chandra Bhushan mentioned. Every year is progressively hotter than the previous year.
There are climate predictions and weather patterns that affect the weather of different areas, whether it is Western Himalayas or the coastal India. But the biggest factor is the climate change. As we have spoken to various experts in our various stories. We did a story on Bengaluru when it was raining and Bengaluru was flooded, and then we did a no snow story in Himalayas in January this year when there was no snow. So all these are related to weather patterns, be it WD, be it El Nino, and El Nino increases the temperature of Indian Ocean region, and that can also be one of the factors that the coastal region is affected, and it is going to be like this till June of
till the
this
monsoons
year. June of this year until El Nino conditions are there. But every expert told us that it can be related to the climate change formula overall. Like in the Himalayas, the temperature is rising by 1 degree per 100 years. In 100 years, it is rising by 1 degree. In coastal India and other parts, plains of India, it is rising by 0.63 degrees in 100 years. So this is how the temperatures are rising. If we talk about the heat wave, we need to understand what the heat wave exactly is. It is when, if we consider maximum temperature wise, when the temperature crosses 45 degrees, then you can say that it is a heat wave condition, or it is 47 degrees and above, it is severe heat wave condition. But another formula of the heat wave is that when the average temperature in an area, like we are talking about coastal India, the southern state, where the temperature normally doesn't go up to 45 degrees, but their heat wave is when it is 4.5 degrees above normal.
Above normal, in fact,
So in hilly states also it is like that. If the temperature goes 4.5 degrees or a few degrees above 30, then it can be considered to be a heat wave.
So in fact, let's, Nivritti, Mr. C.S. Patil is joining us. He's Director IMD in Bengaluru. Mr. Patil, we were talking about the heat wave condition. What explains the fact that Karnataka is seeing record temperatures this summer and the fact that reservoirs are drying up? You know, just 6 months back, we were talking about flooded Bengaluru and, you know, rains and floods in Bengaluru. And just 6 months later, you're looking at water scarcity and record temperatures of over 40 and 45 degrees in Karnataka.
Above 40 to 43 degrees centigrade, sir,
right.
For the last few days. And even Bijapur, Bagal, Raichur, Ballari districts have been recording more than 40 degrees centigrade for the last few days. And today also, IMD has given heat wave warning.
Yes.
Today. Or onwards, 1 or 2 degrees centigrade temperature likely to decrease. Even then, temperature may go up to Kalburgi and northern part of the Karnataka around 39 to 41 degrees centigrade.
Right, 39 to 41 degrees. And in fact, Mr. Patil, yes. My colleague Mohammad Wajiullah is on the line. Waji, do you miss Delhi? The fact that you know, you've relocated from Delhi to Bengaluru, and today Bengaluru is hotter than Delhi.
Well, Sandeep, I don't miss Delhi, but what I miss is the Bangalore that I used to live 20 years back.
Right.
For this, I've just prepared a small comparison that I've done in 2000, in the beginning of this millennium. The average weather in Bangalore used to be at around 25 to 29 degrees Celsius.
Right.
The temperature is at 35 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
In 1973, our green cover was 70 degrees.
Right.
Today, those days have gone now. When we were known as the Garden City, today the green cover is at 7%.
Right.
In the beginning of this millennium, we were at 37%.
Right.
Now, the built area of Bangalore in the 70s was close to 228 square kilometers. Today, we are at 741 square kilometers. So, this rapid urbanization has just screwed up the entire weather pattern in the city. Your heat waves, like Mr. Brijesh Pandey said, that certain areas are going to be expecting 38 to 41 degrees Celsius. Now, this is something that I have seen it in Gurgaon and in Noida. I have not seen this in Bangalore at all. So this is going to be very difficult for Bangaloreans because you are actually at a hilltop at 3,000 feet from the sea level. You are right in the middle of both your oceans, both the seas, be it the Bay of Bengal or the Arabian Sea. You are just 300 kilometers from both the sides. So you are supposed to have a good weather. But if you have managed to even spoil that clearly shows you that the unplanned urbanization has clearly made sure that Bangalore is going to go even more hotter in the coming days.
Bangalore is going to be even hotter in the coming days. Unbelievable temperatures there, Nivritti. And Mr. Bhushan, you know, this is what we've been talking about for the last several months. The fact that, you know, we are now in a bus literally without brakes. It's just irrespective of whatever we do, we have reached a point of no return. Is that a fact now? The cities like Bengaluru, which used to be garden cities, which had the kind, you know, as Vaji was mentioning, temperatures of in their 20s and 30s, and now 40 is the new normal, 40 is the new 30. How do you see this playing out, and what must we really do to, you know, cope up with this kind of...
I think we have covered the entire spectrum in this debate so far. So there's climate change.
Yes.
For which cities can do, you know, in terms of decarbonizing. But I think the second problem is that we are doing bad buildings and our urban design itself is very, very poorly done.
Right.
Bangalore is a classic case where we have removed all the water bodies and therefore the sink for water and temperature and, you know, and the greenery as well. So the few degrees that could have been, you know, reduced because of city itself, a well-designed city cannot be done.
Right.
So one that, you know, we have to work at reducing emission and controlling temperature. That's a global agenda. That's a national agenda. Cities will have to work on that. But I think the bigger thing that cities can do is that we can get better building design.
Yes.
We can better cities design, you know, bring back water and reduce the concrete jungle that we are creating across, you know, across the country.
Right.
So we have to start talking about adaptation. Whatever we are going to do is not going to be sufficient. People will die. Last year in Kharghar in Maharashtra, because of heat wave, in some sort of election rally at that point of time, a lot of people had died because of heat wave. And people do die in India because of heat wave. So we have to start talking about heat action plan.
Yes.
I think I'm requesting IMD to change the definition of heat wave.
Right.
Our current definition of heat wave is not taking into consideration the humidity factor.
Yes.
We need to get a much more scientific and realistic, especially for southern India.
Yes.
The humidity tends to be quite high.
Right.
And there, a right definition of heat wave based on wet bulb temperature is important.
Right.
And then every city has to come out with heat action plan. Every taluka and district should have heat action plan, because heat wave kills and it will kill more.
Absolutely. And Mr. Patil, do you believe there's a need to redefine what a heat wave is? You know what Mr. Bhushan is saying, the wet bulb temperature, that's a phenomenon we don't talk about adequately. The fact that humidity kills far, is far more of a threat and a challenge than a normal heat wave is.
Humidity and temperature, this is the combined effect. It gives comfortability. This is called comfortable index.
Yes.
This is more appropriate than just temperature.
Right. So there's a need to redefine the standards, you think, of a heat wave, given these peculiar conditions of humidity in the south. What is the state doing now to cope with this very unprecedented set of conditions, that you have a heat wave, you have reservoirs that are shrinking up, and the worst news that we heard today is, and the saddest in fact, is the fact that elephants are dying because of the heat wave and water shortage. What is the state government doing, Vaji, in the short term to cope with this crisis?
Just to give you a hint on how bad the situation with regards to animal is, a few days back, we've never seen leopards come into the city.
Right.
We saw leopards entering. We've seen elephants coming here a long time in the Annamalai areas in the Annamalai region.
Yes.
Because that's been the route they've been walking for centuries. But lately we've been seeing leopards, we've been seeing animals in the outskirts. Now that is because there is no water in the Kaveri basin itself, in the forest itself, and for that they're moving out of their comfort zone and they're coming towards the city to see if they can find something over here.
Right.
Now, when we talk about what the government is doing with regards to all of this, we have notifications every day. Till the last week, the notification was how we should control the usage of water. We should make sure that drinking water is not used for all the other purposes, such as gardening, maintenance, cleaning your vehicles, or cleaning your house altogether. I've even spoken to people who have said that they haven't had bath for a week because they are worried that that they will not have sufficient water. They're working from home. Right. Now what we've heard is the next set of steps that they are taking is one is that they're talking with a team of IISC who is now trying to see if they can convert the lake, the leftover lake that we have, into drinkable water, so that water can be reached to people where it's not reaching. Secondly, they're also trying to cut down the water usage of bigger societies which consume close to 40% of the water. They've told them that now that will cut down to 20%. Now, on a daily basis, Bangalore on an average needs close to 3,000 metric tons of water. And we have a shortage of 1,500 metric ton of water. So that clearly gives you milliliters of water. So that clearly gives you an idea at which they are comparing. And now, in the 90s, we had 13,600 borewell water. Today, 6,900 of them are dried up. So at this situation, we are having notifications every day. But if you see the impact on the ground, there is a report that I done about with a wedding hall where he said that they do not have water and they have to depend on the nearby MLA to provide water tankers to them. Right. There are hotels who have removed their vessels and they have started giving food to people in plastic plates or in disposable glasses or disposable plates, so that the usage of water is reduced because there is no water. So the people in the city are trying to make their own innovative ways in which they can. But the government, on the other hand, is only sending out notification. We don't see anything happening on the ground as such. But what we've been told is that work is going on. People are providing water. But if we see the numbers and the data, it is a very worrying
It's
side.
very worrying indeed. And Mr. Bhushan, closing comments from you on this situation, because you're looking at what is Bengaluru today, could be any other major Indian metro tomorrow, like Mumbai you mentioned, Delhi is looking at another heat wave. What do you think Indian cities need to do to be prepared for this in the short term? You've of course mentioned the big picture on building standards need to be changed and we need to revive our lakes, reservoirs and green cover. But in the short run, what can people do in this summer of 2024?
I think what is heat actually, you also must understand who are the most impacted people on due to heat wave. Is the lower strata of the society who don't have air conditioning, who generally earn their livelihood from manual work. You know, manual work is not possible. Construction industry comes to halt during heat wave. They don't work during day.
Yes.
There is huge economic loss at the bottom of the pyramid.
Right.
Okay. So I think few things cities needs to do is, first of all, to make sure that during peak heat wave, they are not allowing people to work outside.
Right.
There is availability, so there is very clear warning and announcements are made about heat wave.
Right.
Second, there is availability of water at public places.
Right.
So that people who don't have money can't buy water.
Yes.
So drinking water, shades, bus stop, railway stations, they all must be stocked with, you know, ORS and other things because people get dehydrated.
Right.
So I think cities need to start preparing for the kind of, you know, the health impact that people are going to face.
Right, absolutely.
And that all comes under the, you know, you need to have a heat action plan.
Yes, absolutely.
And what you need to do.
A heat action plan, they're very thoughtful suggestions there, Mr. Bhushan. And the south is burning. It's Bengaluru today, it could be any other Indian city tomorrow. And this is an issue that we're going to look at closely this year because 2024 is going to be the record heat year. It's going to be the big burn again. It's going to be worse than 2023. And every year, in fact, is going to be worse than the year preceding it. But thank you very much, Mr. Bhushan and Mr. Patil, my colleague, Vaji from the Heat Sink Bengaluru, and my colleague Nivriti Mohan for joining us this evening on the News 9 Plus show. Thanks for watching.